what we're going to do today is a combination of you doing some writing to get clear about what you value. I'm going to ask you some questions. We're going to run through this PowerPoint. I want you to see some points that I want to make. What I want to say to you is that we're done with this hustle stuff. We're done with making ourselves a different version of ourselves. I mean, I understand we need to change our thinking to become the person we want to be, because that has been drilled into me in memoir class by my teacher, Al. Einstein says you can't solve a problem with the same stinking thinking. He didn't say that, but the same thinking that you used to create that problem. That just might sound, well, you can look at any aspect of your life, especially this thing that you want to do. And we're going to talk about that if you guys want to share. And I'll share my own personal experiences too, because I have some very distinct things that I want to do that is stepping into a part of me that hasn't been out front for like 6 or 7 years. And also sharing, well, when the memoir is written, I'll be out there a lot, but I'm going to start sharing beforehand. And the other thing I want to say is that I'm so grateful you're sticking with me, because it's just me. I don't have any help. I occasionally will get brandy. I chased my father's beliefs. I mean, each one of us. In fact, at another salon, I'd love to ask you, what did you learn from your mother growing up? What did you learn from your father growing up? Because those questions, you look back and see, how am I driven? How am I opposite of them? How am I like them? And it's all there. And they meant well, conditioning us to be strong in this world that we're in right now. But we got conditioned by their beliefs that they had at that time, and it's a very different time now. One of the things that I've learned is that I pushed my body, went through untold amounts of stress, being driven to do what my dad said my sister and I should do, and don't depend on others. We need to take care of ourselves. I love this quote. What's not brought to consciousness comes to us as fate. Carl Jung, I truly believe, and my spiritual coach says the boss did a smackdown with me, because I was chasing money, illusions, everything to make myself feel safe and secure. I would never have known. It was obvious. If all my friends noticed, I was enamored by making a lot of money and what my father made. And I did the classic marketing stuff that everybody else did. If you do this, see that that's how we've been socialized by the patriarchy. You got to get in there and work hard like men. And we're going to see a lot of systems crashing down. So what we want to do is honor the feminine. That is rest. This first sentence is the feminine. How do you honor reflection, being still, taking care of yourself? This is what I study. This is what I think about all the time. Spirituality. And because that's what I've had to rely on to get through everything, truly, that I've come through. So this is where we've been, 3D, and we're moving into different dimensions. Fourth is mental dimension. Head, heart, polarity, focus on what's not working. This is where we've been. Like, we got to fix ourselves. Here's the other one, trying to wake others up. Let me see if I can move this little thing over here. And it is sort of, oops, oh my goodness. Let me see if we can do this. Yep. It's like no more working on ourselves. Here's what I've learned, and I think others are learning too, but we're not broken. We forgot why we're here, which is love. We've forgotten a lot of things, but we need to stop the stuff that we're broken, and here we go, and go back to this. So what do you think about this? I love this fifth dimension. I got to move these pictures over off my screen. Higher self-embodied. Yeah, this is moving a lot from the ego, which has had us locked into over here monkey mind, linear
Mhm.
thinking, fear, lack. And the problem right now is we have a lot of dark energy on the planet, a tremendous amount. And the internet is how it gets in. And we watch these things. I'm guilty about it. I'll walk around here going, solar flares, there's more solar flares, crazy stuff. The thing is, there's more energy coming into the planet from the sun, and that affects our parasympathetic nervous system. Understand that grounding is one of the most important things we can do. And let's just practice right now. Let's go into some grounding here. I want you to close your eyes, and you're seated. So I want you to feel this grounding cord that comes from the base of your spine, and it's going to go straight into the earth, all the way down as far as you can send it. It's now hooked on a rock or something down there. So you've got it down there. Now you're going to take some deep breaths. Let's just breathe 3 deep breaths. And now you're going to send all this negative energy that you've been holding on to and all of these fears that are coming into your field from TV, from radio, from other people. And you're going to dump it into this cord, and it's going to go all the way down to the earth and just send it down like black sludge. It's going down, 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 down. Take another breath. And now we're going to bring up some white light. So we're going to pull white light up from the earth into this grounding cord, and we're going to circulate it all the way up to the top of your head, down your legs, to your feet, and back up all the way through your whole body. So you are a light being right now, and you're grounded. And just feel the solidness of the earth attached to your grounding cord. And I think this is something you want to do daily, if you can remember. It's a really important practice. So you can open your eyes. Any thoughts on that? We do have to ground. There's just no doubt about it. And then this year, and as we go through some maybe more, climate issues, these are the things that I really recommend, that this is what we do. When I came out of this accident, one of the first things I thought when I came off the ventilator was, I don't need any more certifications. It's just the strangest thing, I don't need those things anymore. And what I valued were the people that love me. That was it. That was all that I cared about. That's all that really matters. So when it all comes down, that's what we need to be very clear on it. And this is how we're going to create a breakthrough to build your inner life. That's how I'd like to do it, instead of the way we all used to do goals, the old hard stuff. So we live in 2 worlds, and one is our inner world and one is our outer world. And the way that I healed, that I'm going to teach you all as you go through this with me, is that in effect, in the hospital for 6 weeks, it was so loud that I put my earplugs in and my eye mask on, and I went inside where it was quieter than it was outside. And I really learned to rest, and I really learned that that was going to heal me more than anything out here. And so that's why I recommend that you create your home as your sanctuary. You might have, I'm affluent, I can afford candles. Not everybody can do that, but just how can you bring a flower into your home each day? Or if you live in a sunny location, how can you bring some piece of nature in to look at or admire? How can you think about the things that feed you internally instead of these things that you need to buy so much on the external? Because they're just things and they don't matter at all when it all comes down to it. They make life fun, let me tell you, but they aren't. This was my reason for being. I want to tell you this. I found this out through Al, my writing teacher. Al said, told me that I didn't trust myself, which was something I had no idea. I didn't trust myself, but it makes total sense. But I was chasing money and success. That's true. That was my conflict in both marriages. I worked too much. So I was chasing it because I wanted to be independent. I didn't want to depend on them, but I kept them, my husband's, a little bit arm's length. It wasn't as intimate. Now, John and I have worked through a lot of stuff, and we still work through a lot of stuff. But these were the conflicts, and I now see how true that was. But I transformed, at the end of that, I transformed, and I'm able to reframe how I think about success and money. Does that make sense? I mean, I've been listening to Al for 4 years, and I swear I hear him say the same things over and over again. And some of it's just hard because I think we all focus out there. So at the same time, I want us to have a goal of focusing in here. Okay. So there's an inner world and an outer world. Here's the other big thing. We can't control anything out there. Doesn't that just piss you off? You can't control people. You can't control anything. And of course, we live our lives trying the best. And I always like to snap out of it. Byron Katie loves to say, there's 3 kinds of business. There's your business, there's my business, and there's God's business. And you're either in my business or God's business, So my business, if I'm over there managing somebody else, then I'm not home in my business. And anyway, that's just another. So we also, when I make money, and this was me, when I make money, I'll feel more secure. I'll feel safer. But you know what the truth is? I'll never feel safe, no matter how much money I have. That's just the way of it. It's kind of a black hole. Do you agree? Do you guys do you agree with that or get that? The more you have, you don't see millionaires who want to stop making money. They're just out there cranking it out. So, when I make money, I'll feel more safe. I'll feel secure. I'll work less. Well, that didn't go over well. That didn't work for me. Another one is really when I lose weight, I'll start dating. And so this is the middleman, and we want to cut the middleman or middlewoman out and just do it now because that's it. There's no other waiting. And so to return to, yeah, this is your deep inner life. And that I wanted to talk about. And then I have started using the Calm app in the morning and just listening to the 10-minute meditation, and my brain goes all over the place and then it comes back for a minute, but it works. I'm beginning to get it. Tamara Levitt. I just want you to remember this one, because this one you can do almost anywhere. Because you could just fake it like you're scratching your face. So you just plug your right nostril and breathe out of your left. And instantly that'll calm your body down. This is a Kundalini breath, and there's so much more in there that I will teach you guys, because that is what Yogi Bhajan said years ago before he died, that these gurus always get in trouble. But he did teach some amazing things. He brought this technology over, but he said that these were technologies, the breath and the mantra, and our technologies that we need to get through this Aquarian time that we just came into. So we just breathe more. There's other breaths that I can help you with too. And I think it's important. There's alternating breaths, there's breaths for lots of different things, but this is the one. Meditation, make your home sacred as best you can. I diffuse oils, that does that too. EFT, remember Brad Yates, and there's a ton of people out tapping now. This is why you've got to get specific. So do you all have a sense of one big desire that you want to have manifest this year? I'll tell you mine here. I want to finish this manuscript. So finish this manuscript for this memoir this year. I had a goal of April. I don't know how that's going to work. But the other is to build my platform starting now as a solopreneur. Again, I lost my whole platform. If you know what I mean, that's email list. I had an email list of 5,000 or more. And after the accident, I was out 18 months. So that's my big desire. It's a huge desire. And I'm going to break it down into small, specific steps. I just don't know any other way to do it. And I have to start smaller than I want, I'm sure. I always like to say, pick something that scares you. I want to find out from you guys. This is where you're going to start your prompts, and I'm going to put some music on. I want to find out, I'm going to give you 6 to 10 minutes on these. Let me get some music here first. Let me go back over here, do all this. And then we'll do some creative visualization after this.
We don't need any music.
Here are what I want you to write down. And I'm doing the same thing with you. Take your journal. I'd rather, if you have a pen and paper, I know it's hard to switch over, but this is a better way to kind of get your brain involved. But right now you're writing. 3 amazing people in your life are, this is your gratitude. And what you're grateful for, a lot of times are the things that you value. So it's another way of coming at them. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not going to tell you, but I'm I'm curious. What is it that I'm just curious about this first one? What is it about these 3 people that inspires you? The 3 amazing people in your life. I mean, they could be your daughter, they could be your, husband, they could be your.
Self-made.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so inspired.
Inspired, self-made, intelligent,
Yes.
supportive.
Yes, that's pretty incredible. And we'll talk about that because you are a self-made woman, your daughters are self-made. Olivia will be self-made.
Olivia's amazing me right now.
Well, that's what Natasha told me.
Yeah.
I am really close friends with Judy's daughter. And I'm Judy. Judy, I have some daughters I have 5 daughter girls. That's what I call them. And Natasha's one of them.
Daughters to a few people, it seems.
Yes, I think that's nice. The more people that love us, the better.
Yeah.
So mine, I noticed one of mine, I didn't tell you all this. I quit drinking alcohol because I keep forgetting, December 3rd.
Really? Wow.
It just didn't feel like something I needed anymore. And my family, I come from an alcoholic family, so I decided to join AA and learn about it. And so one of the people invited me, and she said, and she's in my writing group, and she said, if you are looking for a miracle, this is it. I said, I'm looking for a miracle. I'll join. And I joined. And Al, my writing teacher, is an important stranger. This is something that an anthropologist, can't think of her right now, but she used to say every decade there's an important stranger that comes into our lives that changes the course of our life. That is my teacher, Al Watt of LA Writers Lab.
That's interesting.
But just think back. That's something to think about. You can look back at your decades and say, who was that important stranger that came into my life? fascinating stuff. She's an anthropologist, cultural. She's passed away. It was Angelus Arian, The Fourfold Way. Okay, 3 great things about my physical body. One of the things I am going to do is a salon about the body because there's a lot of work there. And I'm okay with my body now because I have a lot of scars and stuff. I look at my body as it saved my life. So I love my body, no matter what it looks like. That wasn't the way until the accident. But it's hard to find about your body. It could just be something that like I like my ears, how if I pull my hair back, I like the way my ears look. We could find something. So women are tough.
I think it's, sorry to interrupt. I think it's great how your body will heal itself. You give it the right environment and it will heal itself. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you've done a remarkable job. So, and then three things great. Were you able to find that yet, or have you started on that one? 3 things about your home.
My home.
You have your garden on there, Vicky? Yeah, that gorgeous garden. Oh, and this is a good one. 3 ways I've experienced luck in my life. Now we create luck. That's the way I believe it. I've been lucky. Okay. People aren't really clear about this. And this doesn't mean that you're a skilled piano player. It just means something that's just natural to you. Knowledge and experience. Okay. Knowledge and experience I've been given. And experience is everything. Three ways in which my life is wealthy, abundant, and prosperous. Okay, let's see.
Can you go back,
Sure.
Sherold? I'm sorry. I'm still got number 6 and number 7 to write down.
Okay, good.
Sorry.
I'm working on 2, so I didn't mean to go too fast. Mm. You all ready to shift, or you want, I'll wait another few minutes?
I'm done.
How about you all done? Okay. Probably know this, those of you who've been with me for a long time. When my son was sick and he needed to get medical care, it was genetic, rare, and he was about to die. We canceled our plans, John and I said to John one night at dinner, what if everything went perfectly with what he's got to go through? We figured he needed surgeries. Let's just say if it could go perfectly, how did it go? And that you write it in past tense. So I would write, my list got a bump in building, you know, that kind of thing. So this is very woo-woo, but this is the way it works. I've been praying for like doors to open because I don't have this list. So something's got to go magic here. And that's what I pray for them. And you've got to ask for stuff right now. So you ask out loud, you ask to yourself, you know, however you want to do it. But let's just just write it a few paragraphs. Just start out like my health continued to improve, or for me, it's my body got stronger. So just write 2 to 3 paragraphs here. We'll just take some more time. How's everybody doing?
Getting there.
Yeah. Yeah, here's some more stuff. So if you can write down what you want, I've seen Marie Forleo do this, and it's, I believe she did it with her book when everything was figure outable. My book is a New York Times bestseller. I tried to write that down, but it didn't work for me. You know, what is it that it's important that another year, that you take this year and you really say, this is the year I'm going to do something that I've not done or put off, or it can be anything. Like me, I certainly never thought I would give up alcohol, but just seemed, I don't know, I've been in this new kind of counseling and it just seems to work, internal family systems. So that was pretty cool. Now, anybody want to share or talk?
Where to begin?
Yeah, okay. Let me ask Vicky, and then, or do you want to start? Dana, you start.
Just talking about like what you see in the future of
Yeah,
what's already happened.
yeah, like what for you? Because I know you have, each of us have different things, totally different things. And it's sometimes really fun to hear. And we're at different stages in our lives, you know, so there's difference. So Dana, share with us what you really want to do this year.
Well, I think the last, usually like when you're writing, usually the last you empty out and your very last line is usually the one that actually is the one that's been hidden underneath all of it. That's more, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
the
because my
last,
last line was, I'm a great grandma to Theo, and that should be my first line.
right.
My little grandson. Anyway.
That's sweet. I think the opportunities of holding strong to my why in what I'm doing next, because I feel like I'm at that third junction that you sort of placed out with, where you're starting with in your ego and then in your head and then you're getting into your heart. So I've gotten into my why. So it's really about creating the opportunities to change the way that my industry is acting and create more new standards for them.
Why don't you
And that means I need to step into a leadership.
Yeah, you're tell them what industry you're in.
Okay, so I'm in the beauty industry where I've created a communication standard for new stylists that are just coming out of the hair beauty schools and that are just going into salon industry. And a lot of what I've created is an online program that helps to create a certification so that they're ready and prepared to deal with anyone sitting in their chair and creating a lifestyle for them versus just creating an image from a page. It's more authentic beauty behind the chair versus it just being an in and out type of experience. So because we're dealing with mental health, it's not just in the hairdressers, but it's in the clients through the pandemic. And then we also went through a cultural thing as well. So I have to create more of taking my standard of the communication pathway and building a bridge to cultural and to stop the division that's happening in our culture and all the different cultures that are out there and sort of bringing us together through hair and then bringing in the mental health piece to create the opportunities, because we're the only occupation in the world that has the opportunity that sees the mass of communities around the world in our own communities, we see everyone. So we have the accessibility to sit with you for an hour, 2 hours, and to be able to shape and help bring the best out of them, as well as giving them resources. And so I have to go into that space. And so what I'm doing now is going into hair shows and putting myself on that leadership role. And so I just have to stick to my why and not get persuaded by the money and the head stuff. And I get really heady about what they're thinking, or they might be judging me, or that type of thing. So I have to just stay with my heart on what I'm doing, because I know it's the right thing that we need to move into to make the changes. And nobody likes change. Let's just talk about that. Nobody likes change.
Nobody.
So I just want to make sure that I'm not pushing a boulder. I'm going straight in.
And
So
so that's your big, to go into that market, the hairdressers, is a big deal for you this year. Okay.
yeah, it's the biggest change that I can make in my lifetime, and hopefully leave something behind. But so I think for me, it's that sort of freedom to work and play and stay in that leadership role and develop that. And also I think I see myself doing like a little, like more training the elephant in my brain, like more. I'm thinking maybe even I've been kind of thinking about doing a silent retreat just to get uncomfortable and to help kind of get myself a little bit more focused. I do the calm, the meditation stuff, and I'm grounding myself continuously, and I've created my sanctuary. So I'm sort of like at that third tier that you had listed. So it's just a matter of like really just honing in that brain space of wondering what people are thinking.
Yeah. And park that if you can, because we all get into that. And if I think how much time I've lost over the years just in that.
Oh, yeah.
That
Exactly.
just stops us. So I think, and that's your task this year, is to just focus and chunk it down and keep going.
Yeah. That's where I'm at.
Good job.
So.
Vicki, do you want to share anything? Are you muted? Let's see.
There we go. Yeah, I didn't have such a good year last year, health-wise. In fact, for the first time in my life, I had multiple kind of things happening. And it eventually led to me giving up work in July. And I'd been a nurse for over 40 years. And basically, I think I just hit the wall. And starting in about April, I lost my balance, fell off the deck and broke my ribs. And from there on, I seemed to have problems with blood pressure and heart. And I was seeing all these different doctors and breathing. And then I had I eventually got COVID for the first time in September. And then I had to have an operation, a gynae operation later in the year. And, I just felt like every week and month, I just couldn't sort of catch my breath or catch up. And so this year, I really want to unravel, all of those health problems. I'm starting to get on top of them now.
Yeah.
But I feel like this year I'll be focusing on just trying to sort of get on an even keel again. And because I've always been a really capable, healthy, organized person. And this sort of wasn't what I was expecting at 63. I thought, I'll be able to work for years or whatever. The one good aspect was that I'm in the process of inheriting money from my parents' estate, because they've both died in the last couple of years. So that has made my whole life a lot easier in terms of, not having financial worries,
right?
Which is really, really good.
That's really good,
because I think that's what kept me working anyway. It was necessity basically. Yeah. So now I've got more freedom and choice as far as that's concerned. So that side of the equation's fine. That's okay. I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, I just feel like my as we'd probably say here in New Zealand, my body's crapping out on me. It's just not. It's just.
So your body, what you want to do is say the I ams. You do. And this is what I did. I would say my leg is getting stronger every day. Say, I am strong. My body is strong. And because you cannot underestimate what comes out of here and how that impacts us. So the more you can say, I love my body, it's really, here's Judy. She came back. Yeah. There we go.
I have something to add to that. Can I add something to that?
Yes, please.
One of the things that I've done in the past for health, just that same thing, is what Sherold was doing in the very beginning, which was the grounding, the rooting, and then like the imagining the light coming up through your core. Standing in the shower has been one of the places that I do this, where I'll be standing and sort of like the health, and that the water is rinsing away the aches and the pains and just warming up my body. But it's just it really helps just to keep doing that as a ritual. And I've also, that gratitude, like not writing, but just being like every night before I go to sleep, I think about being all the grateful things. So the energy that I'm putting in my body is the positive of all the little stuff. And then I go to sleep and I wake up. Sometimes I get myself in that space, but then that means I need to get on the floor and get grounded again somehow. So those are great ways that I've gotten myself out of that spin or that. I don't know if that helps. But
thanks, Dana. Yeah, no, it certainly does.
Getting our body moving changes it, shifts the energy around.
Yeah, and I think also they say that one of you guys watched that movie, that documentary about the actor who went to his therapist. He had a whole documentary on his therapist. It was like Schultz or something like that. Schultz. It's on Netflix, and he talks about his therapist saved him. He had a brother that died, and Schultz actually said there's a triangle of, like, when you get into your head, get into your physical body instead. So when your body's in motion, your head can't take over or hijack you. So body on the floor, doing something that grounds you, going for a walk, anything.
Oh, good, Dana.
So that's a trick.
The garden's like that for me.
Oh,
going out and weeding and watering, and it's quite meditative, really, just standing watering plants for an hour.
Even talking to them is helpful.
Your brain's not really sort of thinking about other things. You kind of just there in the moment. So
it's powerful.
Yeah.
Do you want to share? Do you want to share anything, Judy? You can. Anything you want to share. It's up to you. Are you off mute? Ask to unmute.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry, my youngest daughter walked over. She was heading up to Whistler, and she had to drop off a ton of laundry and some stuff for my new chairs, etc. So I somehow got out of this. But anyway.
It's okay.
What would
Dana shared and Vicky shared. Vicky shared she had Vicky, did you have you also had to care for somebody this year that was sick? Seems like you had told me that, or am I?
No, both my parents died within 2 years of each other.
That's
so that it was Mum's anniversary last year in August, her first year. So, in 3 years, I lost both parents, and I'd nursed my father through COVID. He didn't have COVID, but he'd had a stroke for 17 years, and I nursed him 6 months from our lockdown right through till the September of 2020 when he passed away, which was fairly beneficial. Really enjoyed doing it. Giving back to my father. And I lived close by, and I'd always supported them, but to be hands-on for that last 6 months was really good. Yeah, really good. So yeah, but I think all that, it obviously takes its toll on you mentally and physically, and I think that's what I was experiencing last year, was just this whole physical kind of almost like a seizure, of I felt like my body had seized up, and so I think it's just manifesting probably all the stuff that's been going on, and it's probably been like that for a lot of people over the last few years anyway, with COVID, etc.
Oh, I
Um,
think so, because so much of stress is stored in our bodies.
yeah.
And
So it just aches and pains and that sort of thing, you know. So yeah, so I'm really focused this year on
this year is gonna be a good
getting
year.
myself sort of
Yeah.
sorted out
And
and well again. Yeah, yeah,
and
feeling
I
feeling
think,
good, you know. Mm,
yeah, I
yeah.
want to hear, I want to say one before I want to hear Judy, and then I want to say to us before, we end, and not that I don't have my thing down here, my time, but I want to hear what Judy has to say, but I want to
Mm.
find out what would sabotage us. So we're going to talk about that in a second. What would keep us from doing this thing? So, but tell me, Judy, anything come up for you that you would like to share?
Well, when I look back at 2023, it was not a good year for a lot of us. And yet I can't complain because my health has improved steadily throughout the year. So that's been a great thing.
Which is
I hope to
incredible. Yes.
Yeah, I hope to continue on with that for sure. I'm going for an NED status, and that's
What's
what I'm
that?
hoping will happen. Sorry?
What is that?
NED, no evidence of disease.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because for that, I can do a lot more than I can do now. Because right now they say, oh, you shouldn't travel, you shouldn't leave the country, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And I go, you know what? Forget it. You don't know me well enough. Um, but anyway, that's one thing. And this shocks me. I've come to the realization that I think I want a partner in my life again. I want a male in my life again, which is scary. And yet, because I've been independent and all the rest of it, but somehow I feel like that would um, be better for me right now. So I don't know where that's come from. And that sort of
That's
fills me with
interesting.
trepidation and all that type of thing of that. When you talk about losing parents, I lost my dad when I was 23. He literally dropped dead. And that was an experience that was, I thought, and lots of times I think, oh, I never let him know this, I never let him know that, and all that kind of stuff. But when you lose a parent, when I think that was relatively young for most of it, it forces you to grow up a lot faster, and it forces you to realize that you need to be responsible for yourself and take care of yourself. And as a result of that, I learned a whole bunch of things. Now, my parents taught me a bunch of things for which I'm really grateful. We knew how to grow things and can and do a bunch of stuff. We learned how to take care of houses. We learned how to manage our finances, lots of things like that. So it was good, but it made me take those things a lot further than I probably would have if I'd still had them around to sort of rely on. And that. And again, we're a different generation than our parents were. They didn't know a lot of stuff or have to deal with a lot of things that we had to now and learn to manage properly. Things I want to do this year is like we didn't travel last year. 2 years ago, my daughters and granddaughter and I went back to Europe and had a great time. And I thought, I want to do that again this year. It's, making memories with your family is priceless.
It is.
And we had and Olivia, my granddaughter, is such a great traveler. So it would be good. And she's going to be 14 this year. So, it won't be long and she possibly won't want to travel with us anymore. But I think she will for I'm hoping a couple of years at least.
So your big deal is this status. This is
Yeah.
okay. Now let's just back it up. What is an option if you don't get that status? So that you're not derailed. What
Well,
else?
I don't think it'll derail me. Right now, they've got me at stable, and I'm grateful for that.
That's very good.
Yeah, it's very good. It's all my blood work is in the normal except two things which are caused by the meds that I'm on, and it's just, slightly out of range. So all that's good. I feel good. I've been losing weight, but I'm thrilled with the way my body is right now. And I'm
Sometimes I was thrilled with how mine looked after the accident, except for the scars.
well, you know what? Scars come with age, and that's proof that our our scars are proof that our body will heal itself. They're a reminder. It's like, hey, you went through this, you got out on the other side. But I'm just leaving this here to remind you what it's all about.
Yeah.
But it's I think what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. And I know that when you first go into a diagnosis like this, you know, people are talking about death a lot. And I thought, I'm not anywhere near ready for that. And it quite frankly, excuse the language, but it pissed me off. And I just like, get the blank away from me. I
Yeah.
don't need any of that. So, and what I found, and this sounds bad, but I'm going to say it anyway, but what I found was I didn't tell many people at first. And then when I did, I found that women, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, and it was the pity party. And I'm going, get away from me then. Every man that I told said, Judy, you're a strong woman. You're going to get through this. If there's anything you need at all, just pick up the phone and call me. Two
Oh,
entirely different things
wow.
from two different sexes. That shocked me. It really shocked me. And you know what? The men have stood behind me all this time. My youngest daughter has talked, and, you know, I've met people in my neighborhood and they'll say, oh, you're Sabrina's mom. How are you? And I go, I've
Oh
got
my
to
God.
talk to that kid. Like, you know what? Don't tell other people what's not their business. If I
That's it.
want them to know,
Actually,
I'll tell them.
that's it. We talked about there's three kinds you've got to tell her. There's hers, yours, and God's. And she
Yeah,
can do the business. That's how you
yeah.
do it. So
But,
I
you know,
want
she needs to have control in some manner. So, you know, but that's not an appropriate way as far as I'm concerned.
and that's
Um,
Judy, maybe that's another thing to just add to your list.
yeah,
What are things that you won't tolerate and that you need to teach people how your daughters how to treat you because that they
yeah.
don't know and it's their own issues that are coming forward, you
It
know?
is, and I recognize that in her. She needs to have control over something, so she decides that she has to be everywhere with me, and sometimes it's not appropriate. She pissed off my oncologist one day, and he told her off, and I thought,
That's
good for you. But, you know, it's you know, she's scared, and I understand that. Both the girls were scared at first. And
yeah.
you know, and again, I thought, you should know me better than this. So it's, you know, it gets my back up, which is usually a good thing because then I spring and I go, I'll show you,
That's
you
how
know.
I am. I'm the same.
Yeah,
Well, let's
it's
see.
a
I love
reaction.
this. You are a definitely. How many years has it been since you were diagnosed?
It's been
Three.
three years. It was December
And it
3
was
years
breast
ago.
cancer. Breast cancer.
Yeah. So it's, you know, and everything is fine. In fact, the last round, I get 2 IVs now, one for the cancer med and one for putting calcium back in my bones. This last round, I've had no side effects at all,
My gosh.
none,
She's
which
in
is,
Canada, by the way. If you know, if you
yeah,
can tell the Canadian accent there. Canada's healthcare is different than ours, but you know what, Judy? I am rooting for you.
yeah.
And
Thank
so,
you.
and so here's what we've got. Vicky and I are going to get stronger this year. We're going to get stronger. Vicky, I wrote down how I'm going to do it. So we need to write down what are the action steps. Then I wrote a few
Believe in
things.
yourself. Believe it. Just believe it. You can do it.
And the belief is just a giant part. I mean, I think that's huge. So and Vicky, you're gonna garden. It sounds like you're gonna kind of get into retirement, you know, that's wonderful. So you can do all those generative things. And you've got a huge family in New Zealand right there. Lucky, lucky. And I'm a new grandma. Theo's birthday's next Saturday. He'll be 1. And that's just it's just so much fun. So I'm gonna leave you with this. I don't know what time is it. Just let me look over here.
It's 10, it's 11:10.
Okay, well, we still have if you want to do anything more, but let me just get out of this, see if I can.
I have to go have brunch with my husband.
Yeah, I think we should probably, but I want to ask this. Oh, I'm low tech, so that's why there's no fancy, landing pages and all this stuff. It's just I'm going to send the Zoom link out. But I do want to practice on some some other things. I think the body is one and aging is another that I definitely am interested in. And it's how we think about aging and those things. So I think what I'm going to do is offer some of these free, I'm just going to call them salons to you all. And then I may make them in a class, and turn around and sell it. Just depends. But right now I'm enjoying getting back into, teaching and making it interactive. I want you to do me this though. I want, since the four of us are on and we know what each other wants to do, I think it's great if there's a breakthrough or something that you want to share with me. I'm happy to share it with the other three of you. You know what I'm saying? I put you on a little string and said, I want you to know that Vicky K won gardening in the, I'm making this up. If you want to do this, I just want you to let me know how your year goes, because there's something to be said about the more you can visualize yourself doing it. See if I can send it out, because then you can take what you're clear on and then begin to see yourself in your mind's eye. Like Dana could see herself speaking on stage to all these stylists or whatever it is. I can be at a TED Talk. Judy's over in Croatia and Europe at Rome. I'm making it up. You know what I mean?
You're not making it up. I'm going to do it.
And then Vicky, yes, where there's a way, and see, there's always a way. I do believe you're going to get it. So that's the best part. So thank you all for coming and being with me. And I really appreciate it so much. You're helping me help you.
Thank you.
So,
Love you, Sherold. I'm gonna bow out. Nice to meet
All right.
everyone. I
Yeah,
look
you
forward
as well.
care.
Bye-bye.
to seeing you guys again.
Bye.
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 And
Bye,
we'll
goodbye.
do it again.
Thank you.
Take care,
Thank you,
everybody.
Sherold.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Lovely to see you again. Yeah.
Lovely to see you. Everybody, take care.